All right, let's start it off. You ready, Captain?
Yeah, just put your mic right to the speaker.
We'll put right to the speaker?
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready, though?
Of course.
Are we ever really ready?
No, we're not.
It's 2:02.
Here we go.
They get what they get at this point.
Let me go back.
Oh, familiar friend.
Like a pimple.
That's
our
where you
intro.
agreed to come on.
Welcome to the Agony booth, where we talk about the fond episodes of Star Trek. And this time we're talking about conspiracy. We are very excited to get into it. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is, to me, one of those episodes that lingers with you. And I was shocked to learn that it was actually banned in Europe for a bit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Take the mic, yeah.
I had no
You can
idea.
see-
All of you?
Yeah, not all of Europe, but most of the like UK area and such, because of the exploding head at the end.
Gotcha.
I have fond memories of watching Remick's head explode whenever I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
It did not damage me one bit.
No, I was fine. I was like 7. It was great. We have a synopsis.
Sorry?
Synopsis?
Synopsis, please.
Do we have a synopsis for this?
Do we?
Let's find out.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
All right.
We don't
My
need to.
gosh, Joe. Okay.
Not me. That's Jason.
I had to blurt something out there.
Well, you know,
He's an older
Patrick,
gentleman. I didn't want to embarrass
Patrick
him in
Stewart's
any way.
going up in age, and
Yeah.
some things go down when you go in age.
Yeah. We've got to be respectful, you know.
Yeah, he's a legend, right? So yeah, let's start off with you, Jason. What WTF did we just watch?
Conspiracy, as far as I'm concerned, is the episode that platformed Next Generation into what it became.
Yeah.
It is, to me, the single greatest episode of the season, one of my top 3 favourite episodes of all time. It's very Roger Corman inspired, and I love Roger Corman kind of material. It's schlocky, it's exciting, but it deals with bigger issues that are going on with the Federation. So it actually is an episode, as far as I'm concerned, that ages really well.
Yeah.
I know that because I watched it another 10 times in the last couple of weeks.
No. Tell us some of your experiences filming this episode. We'd love to know.
Well, my experience was, I was ecstatic because I said, oh my God, when I got this guy, this role, I went, a Trekker doing Star Trek. I'm in my world. So I was like in my world, and it was the most pleasant thing because there were not a lot of people involved in the scenes. Max 3 of us, 2 of us, and then me alone.
Right.
So it was wonderful to shoot from the time I got it, from the time I was going to be there, trying on my captain's outfit, being fitted, and the whole number. It was just a dream come true for a Trekker to do Star Trek.
There you go. That's awesome. Yeah. To me, I am a horror nerd too. So for me, this is like Trek's first step into horror, which made it a lot of fun because it reminded me of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Same type of setup. The things go in the back of your head. They had just done like an 80s version, like a year or 2 before. So I was like, oh my God, this is like a sequel. So I love this episode. And there's other horror elements in there. The other captain, when you have all the captains meeting on the planet.
Titanic's V.
Titanic's V, exactly. He is from the Bolian is from The Hills Have Eyes.
Yes,
It's the
that
same
is,
actor. Yeah.
Actor Michael Berryman.
Yes, actor Michael.
Great
Legend.
character actor.
Yeah, and he's a very good actor because he has a very distinct face
Yes.
and it added to his alien look amongst all the humans that you guys were in there. But what was even cooler was you have this great red and black backdrop on that outpost, which gave it another element of what is going on. Everything is mysterious, everything is suspenseful. This was really, though it's called an agony booth, it's because it gets a little bit crazy with the bugs, of course. That's why we're doing this one. But oh my goodness, the horror elements of this, which is so incredible. And And it stands up today. Like, well, of course, I watched it. Maybe not as much as he did, but it's still done so well and holds up so well.
It does, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be perfectly honest. I had tapped out of Star Trek: The Next Generation by the time Conspiracy came along. Even 10-year-old me. I'm sorry, I'm going to commit a blasphemy. I thought the show was garbage during its first season.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I did. Okay, I watched Encounter at Farpoint. I thought, well, that was boring, but maybe the next episode will be better. And then we watched The Naked Now. I'm like, well, that was a ripoff of the TOS episode, but maybe the next episode will be better. Next was Code of Honor. I was like, I'm out. I'm out. Nope. And then I don't even know why. I just happened to turn it on, and I thought, oh, it's that show. I watched it, and I thought, okay, you know what? That was really good.
Yeah.
I liked that. I'm not kidding. I watched the exploding head scene at 10 years old, and I was shook. We didn't have VCRs back then because that was the Stone Age when everything was in black and white, and I had a pet dinosaur. But I just lay in bed that night, just rewinding that scene in my head. It just popped like a firework, and I was shook. I could not get over that, and I couldn't get over this episode for years, and I've loved it ever since. It's like one of those horror movies you watch whenever you're a kid, and it just sticks with you. So this is always going to have a special place in my heart. And whenever I saw this on the Agony Wheel, my thought was, really, an Agony Booth episode? Conspiracy's amazing. Who hates Conspiracy? It's the best episode of the first season, in my opinion.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. And you were the fastest rising captain in Star Trek.
Yes.
You had such a prestigious role, too.
Ahead of Jean-Luc Picard.
Ahead of Jean-Luc.
I have to see if you've still got it. Are you as good as they say?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Brilliant.
So, one thing,
What?
if you get a bit peckish, we went and we got you some
No, save that for later. Save that for
Save it for later? All right, what we have?
We're going to get to that scene.
Okay.
May I?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. No,
There we go.
I think I shared this with you, but they ride in the bowl. Right?
Yeah.
Oh.
And you see what I'm doing with my hand?
Right.
There was actually a motor in the bottom of the
Oh.
bowl that
No way.
made it look like they were just slithering around really yucky and nasty. But it was pasta. And so I just enjoyed eating. I love pasta.
You're kind of getting into it.
Yeah. Thank you.
You know, we do got to give it up to Jonathan Frakes, though, because I watched that scene, and the scene where he's about to eat it, he actually has the mealworms, and a couple of them, fall on his lips while he's doing it, and he just keeps going, and I'm like, I would have been screaming.
Frank's always a professional.
Yeah.
It's fire
down here, I can't do this.
I was able to dodge the worm, and I was so happy.
Amazing.
Let's move it on.
Moving on. You gotta put the mic by this.
That's what happens when you get knocked out. You lose one of your
Limbo
functions.
Ryan.
Yeah. I mean, that's life. It's life. That's what happens. Your body does. As you can tell, we are a very high bar show.
Very comedy all the way.
Oh yeah, we're laughing, popping, scatting. Why would they do that? So I think this was TNG's option to do something different because I don't think, you have Monsters of the Week in the TOS series, but nothing like this. And I think they wanted to broaden their horizons. They really wanted to do something a little bit more, and it kind of stands out. It absolutely stands out in season 1. I think it probably saved the show, the series. Yeah.
Really?
I think so. Because when you look back at season 1, oof.
Yeah, I honestly think too is you're also looking at a time where they would know what the ratings are, they would have known what fan reception is, so they were laying big pieces of track in front of them. They were setting things up, and this episode was going to be part of it. I feel that the bluegills, but we like to call butt bugs.
Yes.
The bluegills were going to be a bigger villain, I think, and they're still out there because the homing beacon was sent. So, but it was kind of really it felt like it was new writers had come on board at that point. because a lot of the old writers are from Star Trek, the original series, were in season 1, and I felt this was a fresh take. So, absolutely, you know. And again, it's got a B-grade kind of schlock, and I mean that with all the love in the world vibe about it. It's what makes it work, you know, from the Admiral throwing Worf around like he's a rag doll.
Wait, was it the Admiral or was it the stunt double?
There were some really odd.
Those stunts were rough. It
Yeah.
was like, one scene, it's this, the guy looks like me, all right, Worf, I've always wanted to see what a Klingon will do. And then the next scene, the guy is like, get up. That guy, all right, then he starts fighting with a wig on. I always felt like that cut swap was too rough.
I was not there. I cannot tell you.
I'm very grateful, by the way, that you used me as the in-shape stunt guy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing too is great is one of my favourite things about, and your performance is wonderful.
Thank you.
But you do the most awesome walking at the scene when you've been infected. You walk in and you're owning that room at this point. You know, you do this unbelievable stride through and sit down, and you're into it. And we're like, no, not Captain Scott. Why Captain Scott? So, have you got a theory on how it happened in your own head canon, so to speak?
You know, I never formed a theory about that. I don't know. What?
It could have been anyone from your op that you were like commanding. Could have just, hey, check out the
Could have been
suitcase.
that, okay, I preceded everything.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just too much to handle. I don't know, but that's a good question. I never thought about what that until today. I was thinking about, well, what is the actual conspiracy? I know we were trying to find out who was taking everybody out. That's one of the conspiracies. But the other conspiracy is that in plain sight, I am there. I have been infected and nobody knows it. Another conspiracy. So it's kind of interesting. I just think it was compound interest going on, and I got the brunt of it.
It was all a plot by Big Worm.
Yeah. I also
Big
think
worm.
because you were one of the key captains,
Yes.
it was like, they're very strategic, the Butt-Bucks. They were very strategic. They had a plan. Remember, they were after Beverly Crusher, not number one at that time. So, because it was about setting pieces into place to completely take it over.
They wanted to go after the most powerful person on the Enterprise.
Yeah,
But go after Beverly.
Who ended up saving the day in the end?
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
If they had just got Beverly first, they would have won.
Imagine. Oh.
Now, before I go on to Lower Decks, changed the philosophy of this. They were known, but the fans named these as bluegills.
Right.
But Lower Decks decided to call them butt-bucks.
Right.
Which has bothered me to this day. Because it seems a very inefficient way to invade someone, don't you think?
Yeah.
Because you
Well,
can
don't
chase...
knock it till you try.
Here we go.
Here we go. We're going to do a live reenactment of how this whole process works
Here you go.
via Lower Decks.
So, if you stand on your side, Joe, we're going to reenact the pathway.
I'm sure this will be done with all
Okay.
the dignity and respect.
So for butt-bucks going in this way, right? Slowly. It then has to travel the lower intestine to get through. Maybe to the stomach. At some point, it's probably going to take a break for lunch. Yeah. Right, it's a long journey. But it takes, goes up, and then finally finds himself there. Like pretty dumb for these smart aliens, right? So I don't know if I buy into the butt-bug thing. I think, honestly, Boimler was just pointing around and thought, let's try it this way.
I think Mariner told them that's how they went in, and Boimler just believed her.
That was very magic bullet theory.
It was. It
It's like Magic Bus.
It was back and to the left. That's how we went in.
And that's very interesting.
Exactly. Boimler looks up to Mariner. So if Mariner told him that the bugs go in through the butt, he's going to believe that. He's going to repeat it.
Yeah.
And now everybody on that planet thinks it now, and now it's going to spread all over the Federation. And whenever the butt bugs finally reappear to take over, they're look out! It's the butt bugs. Why are they calling us the butt bugs? Let's leave.
Right, because that butt bug came out of my mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Now, it's become one of the like callbacks for our show. because during Picard season 1, you know, this episode ends with saying they sent out a signal and they were always going to come back, and they never come back.
Right.
So one of his theories that he just never let go was, oh, the conspiracy bugs are coming back, the butt bugs are coming back, and for weeks with Picard season 3, every episode. You know what I think? Is it the butt bug, Jason? Yes, it's the butt bug.
I was determined the butt bugs would be the big bad.
Yes.
And, you know, whenever they revealed who it was, I was like, that makes sense, but it should have been the butt bugs.
And it also proved that yet again you were wrong.
Yeah,
Which
we're-
is something I love to do, is to prove he's wrong. So.
Next thing.
Oh, next slide.
You gotta put
Can we put the mic up there? No, it's not playing.
Yeah, there's a twinkle in the
There's
eye.
a twinkle into the eye.
Yeah.
It is a redeeming feature, but there's a lot to be redeemed.
Oh yeah, I mean, this episode was a great episode, so it's like an ecstasy boost in all honesty.
It's not agony.
No, not an agony.
I have notes. May I go over
Yeah,
my
go
notes?
for it.
Yes,
Go for
please.
it.
I took some meticulous notes while I was watching this episode. First of all, Geordi is telling a joke in front of the entire bridge crew. And you can tell it's a dirty joke. Geordi told a dirty joke in front of the entire Enterprise bridge crew and was not called to HR. Shortly after that, Troy says something about swimming in moonlight, and Worf says, "I don't swim. Sounds too much like bathing." I imagine that entire bridge smells like feet and ball sack at this point. We saw scants on the bridge. I don't know what it was about this episode, but every scene opened up with two women in the scants walking by and leaving, and then nobody else extra was ever on the bridge after that. It was just they left, and it was the regular crew. I loved the scant. I wish the scant would come back. I want a scant myself because I have some amazing legs. Here's a piece of trivia for you. The first Bolian appears in this episode. It is named after the director of this episode, whose name was Cliff Bold.
What's that?
Cliff Bowl.
Cliff
Cliff Ball,
Yes.
yeah.
I have a question for you, Miss Bryant.
Okay.
Tryla Scott, do you believe, because everybody in the Star Trek universe is related in some way or another, do you believe that Tryla has any relation to Montgomery Scott?
No.
Well, moving on then.
No, I don't. I think the relationship is that my ship is from out of New Orleans.
Yeah.
So is Cisco's.
Oh.
So that's the relationship that I tied
Oh,
into.
amazing.
Yeah.
How's
I
Cisco?
go for the odd entry.
Yeah.
His
No.
ship is out of New Orleans, mine is out of New Orleans, the U.S. Renegade, and so that Cisco is my connection.
Do you think
Wait
that?
a second. So are you telling me that Captain Scott ate at Cisco's restaurant?
Oh.
No, I'm not saying.
Stop putting
I'm not
words in
saying
her
that,
mouth.
I'm thinking actually that you guys met before Cisco got married, and maybe you had a couple of nice dinners, perhaps. Could have happened.
Somebody brought that up, and
Yeah.
it could very well have happened.
Yeah.
What years are we talking about? I'm talking
Well, that would have been
2364.
Cisco would have at least been a lieutenant by that point. Maybe it's
Yeah.
been.
Maybe Cisco served under you.
I'm the highest rising captain
It could
in
happen.
the fleet in all time. Also, I've got a butt bug. It's just not going to work out.
She dumped Cisco.
Okay, that's my new headcanon is that
Yeah,
Tryla
right.
Scott dumped Cisco.
Yeah.
And Jennifer was his rebound.
Up and down is beyond me.
Oh, well, humor.
Yeah.
I'm in my humor.
So here we go. This episode is full of characters stating the obvious. For example, after leaving Ditalics V, Geordi informs them that they are in close proximity of the planet that they just left. Thank
Yes.
you, Geordi. Also, Worf, looking at a field of debris, says that the ship has been totally destroyed. Thank you, Worf.
Captain, the ship has been totally destroyed.
Thank
It's
you,
just
Worf.
debris.
That's why we have you on the bridge. Good call.
Well, maybe Jordan
Um,
can say.
I think that this is the first time that we've ever heard the computer get fed up with somebody and tell them to shut up. In this case, guess who it is? Data, shut up. You've said enough. Another bit of weird writing. Picard orders Warp 6, and Geordi says, "Aye, sir, full impulse." That is what
That
happened.
is what happened.
That is what happened.
So this is why Jason's on our show. He has all the deep in-cut in. Yeah. Yeah.
These are my notes.
Yeah, he's the Trexpert on our show.
So later on, we have Quinn beats up Riker, and Riker calls for security before he's beat up. Who arrives with the security team? It's Worf, who's not on security, and LaForge, who's not on security. They're not even wearing the right uniform colors. Where is everybody on this ship? Were they just walking by going, we got it, this will be fun? I also think it was great that if they wanted to show somebody was powerful, they just had them beat the hell out of Worf. And I always thought it was funny that Worf gets his butt beat and then is thrown over a table and goes to sleep. Because he does. He never hits his head or anything. He just gets thrown over a table and goes, and then immediately wakes up after Beverly saves the day. He's like, oh, doctor, thank goodness he was waiting on her. He was waiting on her. Let's see. We have the bad stunt double we already talked about. I already talked about that. Okay, so tell me.
Chase,
What?
did you have a problem with the way they move around the bugs?
Okay, that's actually my next note, if you would let me talk.
We're so in sync.
So,
I'm going to interrupt you. I'll keep interrupting.
so
and I
they
won't
did not
stop.
have a whole lot of stop motion with the bugs, but whenever they did, tell me you did not think of a Claymation Christmas.
Oh,
That's a deep cut. That was a Christmas special a long time ago. They were singing dinosaurs. I don't know what it was. I think I might have been high. The gruesome death in this episode, of course. Mr. Remick, his head pops like a balloon. That was actually Gene Roddenberry's idea.
Was
And I will tell you why. It was done out of my favorite creative reason of all time, spite. Because he was tired of Paramount giving him notes about how to run his show. And so whenever they said this episode is too violent, Roddenberry was all like, I'll show you too violent. And he actually had the head explode as an added scene. It was not the plan when they shot the episode. So he took that scene, the head exploding, and just intercut it with the footage that had already been shot of Picard and Riker. So there we go. Visual effects artist Dan Curry invited his 6-year-old son to watch the episode in order to test how children would react to it.
Do you
That's some
remember?
responsible parenting.
You remember?
He was in therapy probably the whole time.
Yeah.
Boy,
Was he traumatized?
Yeah.
well, the boy,
Yeah.
he reportedly liked it so much that he suggested the creation of a Remick action figure whose head would blow up by pressing a button. I don't know this kid, but I like this kid.
He's got a future in marketing for sure.
Yeah, he does. That's a smart kid. Yeah.
I also have to point out that Riker and Picard had absolutely no idea that Remick was the queen bug and that killing him would kill all the other bugs. They just walked in, saw Remick sitting there alone, and decided to take the opportunity to kill Remick. This is the douchebag who came aboard my ship.
I don't know about that one.
Because
Oh no, they knew. Okay, yeah. We seek peaceful coexistence. Look out, he's got a neck. Pow.
I mean, like, if you're turning around, he can go, oh, we're here for peaceful coexistence. He's like, all we want is peaceful coexistence. That raises a red flag, right? This dude may not be on the up and up.
Okay, Picard the diplomat would have taken that and said, what assurance do we have that you want peaceful coexistence? At that point, Remick could have started spitting out bug larvae or something. I don't know. No, screw this. Shoot him then. I don't know. But it seems like they could have at least heard them out.
Yeah.
Finally, we all know what the butt bugs were supposed to be, right? The butt bugs were the first draft of the Borg. Originally, they were written to work with the Borg or to take the Borg's place. The Borg were going to be insectoids, and they were going to be something, this huge threat, and the writer's strike came along, and that never happened because we all know season 2 was kind of truncated and ended with the best season finale of all time.
So
The Shades of Grey, that was an ironic statement. It was not the best season finale of all time.
I was just always impressed with the episodes that once they destroyed the droid ship, the rest of the bugs died.
You would think they'd put like a battery backup in these things or something.
Well, but it's really weird. It's like when the Queen dies, they all die, right?
right.
That didn't happen in Britain, though.
No.
Explain.
Do I have to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole.
Yeah, you do.
Explain to the Australian
Yeah.
how.
Yeah, explain to the guy in the Commonwealth, sure.
No, do it. Explain it. I'll send some spiders over here, mate. Be big as a dog. We do have them.
So the Queen of England, right, was this woman. She passed away, but everyone in England remained living. I don't understand why the bugs didn't do the same thing. It should be, oh, the Queen's dead. That's too bad. Let's continue the invasion.
Let's start a republic.
You know, let's start
Yeah.
let's colonize.
Yeah, let's colonize.
Oh my gosh, they are British.
Now, do you feel that the conspiracy bugs, your character, once it crawled out, do you feel like Captain Scott survived?
I do.
Oh, excellent.
I do.
Same.
Yeah.
So-
She was too powerful to be taken down by one bug.
Exactly.
If she was infested with them, maybe
Maybe.
not.
Right.
You know, but there was only one bug.
There was only one, right,
Yeah.
exactly.
So in my head, yes, she's somewhere out in the galaxy, waiting.
And so,
Look, unfortunately, I've got to ask this because I'm so lowbrow. If it did die and it died in your head, where did it come out from? Like, did you have to pass it like out of your mouth? It was just like it died and you went, and it just you vomited.
Well, when I died, it slinked out of my mouth. Now, how it got down to the mouth, I don't know.
Did you even watch this episode, Jace?
No, I'm starting to create a new version in my head.
Okay.
So what I'm concerned about is maybe it didn't, because you're the one who came up and said it's butt bugs. So I was concerned that maybe it knew its way in, so it just followed the same path out.
No. Well, we never actually saw one go in except for Remick.
Yeah.
And I think that was just a hasty retreat because it didn't want to take the long way.
sorry.
I'm just going to take
That's
a step
the
further.
conspiracy.
I'm going to say I don't think mine went in anywhere. I think it was implanted.
Oh.
And that's another part of the conspiracy.
Oh, I like that one better too.
But implanted where?
On your neck.
Did they, in makeup, did they put the little,
Back here.
Yeah.
Behind.
did you have one done in makeup? Did they do one for you? Like the little tail? Did they?
No. No?
No,
Oh.
everything was, what do you call it, CGI, before the CGI, whatever it was they did at that point, you know, because even the coming out of the mouth, all I did was lie on the floor, put my mouth open, and they did what they do, you know, to make it work, as if it was moving, like the bowl of bugs, the bowl of worms.
Right.
You know, there's a motor there.
Oh, wow.
Rocking the noodles, the pasta back and forth, and imitating the movement of worms.
Oh.
So, yeah,
So that's how it is. Wow.
yeah.
So were you able to keep any of the products? Did they have like the let's say like the prototypes around? Were you able to like scoop? No? Oh.
No, I wasn't able. No, I was not able to keep anything. I wanted the uniform. They wouldn't let me have it. So,
They wouldn't even let you have the uniform? It was
didn't-
tailor made?
Did you try to pocket a comm badge or something?
Yeah.
I would have pocketed a comm badge on the
I
way.
tried. And they went, where are the badges?
Oh,
it
man.
was that time when they were not freely giving things away.
I
Yeah.
dropped it and it broke and I threw it away. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it should have
Right. I was not that quick.
Nah.
Back to the lying down scene, because I'm fascinated with it. How long did they have you lying on the floor to get that shot?
Prone. It was position. You know, it had nothing to do with the camera. They just took one shot of me lying down, face down, and told me, well, with the head turned to, what's that, the left. And that was it. Prone. Out to the face. And nothing else was going on by the time I saw it.
How many days were you on set?
It was 2 days. No, it was like a day and a half.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a very quick shoot.
Fantastic. What was the first scene you actually shot?
Ditalic speed. We were on meeting. The captains got together to find out what the conspiracy was all about. So we were actually on the ditalic speed, trying to figure out what the heck is going on.
So that basically, you shot chronologically then? From Fajal? No?
No, it's always out of sequence. Ditalic speed, and then me lying on the floor, and then the other. What else? What else going on my mouth? That was done second.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And we kind of brushed past it in the beginning, but I want to ask, you were Trekkie, so you were a big fan of the original series, is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes, that's what got me started. I watched it over and over again. I watched it as a child growing up and all the reruns. So definitely hardcore trekker.
Jason, I better ask you this question because you're definitely telling me I'm wrong if I'm wrong, because that's what he loves to do.
Absolutely.
Were you the second ever African American Federation person we've ever seen in Star
That's
Trek?
Captain.
There was Madge Sinclair. Madge Sinclair. So was I the first?
Well, because I'm thinking there's Uhura, of course, from the original series, but I don't remember personally, and I'm old, so my memory's going anyway, but I think you were the next African American Federation officer, weren't you?
Captain.
Ever to go on
Captain.
screen?
Captain.
The captain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Madge Sinclair was up there too. I don't know.
Madge was later.
Was she later?
That
Okay.
was later.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my memory.
You're number one.
Because if I'm number one,
Yeah.
she had to have come later.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And the reason I ask that is I would assume that would have been part of the excitement, knowing that you are kind of then, even though it was a guest starring role, but to step in the shoes of people who moved Star Trek forward. You were able to then represent your community again, which was really important that we had diversity in Star Trek early on.
That visibility was extremely important. And the fact that she was so high up on the chain was
Yeah.
extremely important. And a 10-year-old girl, someone came by yesterday who was telling me about the 10-year-old girl that saw that episode, and she was so inspired just to do anything. And that's the important thing about it. That's what we do. If I can always do something that somebody's going to take from
Yeah.
it that way,
Amazing.
then I'm in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
And that
wonderful.
brought tears to my eyes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you know that still continues the next day. Even with, I would say, with some of the newer Star Trek actors, they're doing what you do. They're passing on the torch. They're inspiring the next generation.
Right.
So that must, I can imagine you were probably, give me a few minutes, I need to.
Yes.
Cheering up.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't take a few minutes, I just cry. It just pours out of me whenever I'm touched, and I'm touched very easily.
And for you as a child then, seeing, and I'm sure you were a baby when it was on, but when you saw Uhura for the first time, seeing someone from your community finally being a star, did that inspire you? Do you remember how that made you feel?
This is what happened, the whole neighborhood. Hurry! Black people on TV!
Yes,
On
that's
Star
right.
Trek, come! Look, it was so exciting. It was so exciting, and to have her, see her have command of that, the panel, and the science within it, and the tapping on the ear, and and all the jargon. It was extraordinarily amazing. We were so intrigued, still am intrigued. She's long gone, but but she ushered us in a way that I could never imagine happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then when you booked it, I mean, I'm sure all that emotion came through, right?
Yeah.
I'm very expressive, and my thing is movement. I was dancing for about a week. Just everywhere I went, I'm dancing down the streets, on the bus, I'm dancing. I was happy.
Yeah.
I was very, very pleased because I know, you know what it takes to get a role like that. You audition for years to get a role like that. And so I was very pleased and said that's a challenge that.
When you booked it though, it's turning into an interview show now.
Yeah, that's the other guy.
Sorry, but when you booked it, did you get, how many callbacks did you have to do? Like, was it one audition? Was it 5 auditions?
Let me see. I think, if I remember correctly, there were about 3 of them. And the room was awful. Everybody, it looks like they called everybody in Hollywood that looked like me. And we were all in this room going back for the 2nd and 3rd auditions. So it was about 3 auditions, which is pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like I've been to so many cons and on so many cruises, and I've heard so many interviews like this. They hire very quickly, but they know exactly what they want, and when they see it immediately, they hire immediately. Like Mo, that girl that they
Yes.
hired,
Yeah, Israeli.
she just said in the videotape, this chick doesn't know what she's doing.
Yeah.
And then
That's her fault.
when we met her on the
Yeah, Ellis
She
Brown.
is really good.
Yeah.
I think Star Trek has a legacy of excellent casting directors.
Yeah.
And they
yeah.
do it really fast. Like, I'm not surprised it's 3 interviews because they just know exactly what they're doing. They do it fast.
Right, and you have to remember, this was the days before the way they cast now.
Well,
Yeah.
I used to audition all the time,
Mhm.
and it was a lot longer process.
Right,
Yeah.
A
right.
lot.
But I think they had an image in mind, first of all. And there you are, get that image in.
No, I'm sorry, please.
No, I was just saying.
We'll get the questions in.
I think they had a stature in mind, and I fit that stature. That's what I feel because, okay, I'm over there.
So one of the things about
She
Star
doesn't
Trek-
want to call herself strong and beautiful, but that's what she was.
Yeah, that's
That's
what it
okay,
is.
we will call her strong.
Yeah, you were strong and beautiful. That's why how you got the role.
You know, but that sometimes works in the opposite way.
Yeah.
It's too strong. It's too, quote, beautiful. Let's get something that everybody can relate to. I think everybody can relate to strong and beautiful, but you know, sometimes it depends upon who's doing that, sitting in that chair.
Yeah. So one of the things about my connection with Star Trek is you just brought up something that, oh, black people on TV.
Yes.
The reason why my mom made me watch the original series, and once TNG came on, we watched that, is because my grandfather, who was an early black lieutenant of the police force here in New York, would only let them watch Star Trek because of Uhura.
Right.
Because this is us in the future. We're not going to be cleaning up or subservient. We're going to be in command. We're going to be a lieutenant.
Right.
And he later that year was promoted to lieutenant. And he worked on the
Fantastic.
Triborough Bridge.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the 1960s to the 70s.
Mhm.
So that's why Star Trek is such a big base in my life. I started out on Way to Eden, which was like, I can't believe I still love the show. But but that connection is just fantastic.
It is.
We're in the future.
And Michelle, oh my, she was my idol
On that show because of the visibility,
Yes,
because of her intellectuality, because of her beauty.
yes. Tick every box.
See, this is the part of the problem of having white privilege, and you don't even realise it, is the fact of the importance that was to your community. I had no idea. I just went, she's cool, like she's great.
Yeah.
And then as you grow older and you start to understand the power behind it, it really puts yourself in check to go, oh, I just take this for granted. I'm always represented on television.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and it becomes very special when it gets to someone else that does not look like you. It's very precise. You know, if you walk in and you have to look great, they grab you up right away. But it's usually very specific.
Right. Right. All right. We're gonna open up the questions. We got you. He had a question, and then we'll get to you in the back.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead, Ernesto.
Hello, again, thank you for coming all the way out here to Long Island.
Oh, you are quite welcome.
So, when, the scene with the 3 captains, was that on the Planet Hell set?
Ditalics B.
Yes, but was it shot on that one set that they used
Oh,
for?
of course, yes.
I think it is black, but
Flat cave floor.
Yes,
I hate cake!
It's served for everything.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
In the back.
Just was the previous comment you made about, I think it was O'Hara was a role model for you, is what you were saying. right?
Yes, on that show, absolutely.
But I think the interesting thing was, if I remember it right, she wanted to leave the show.
She did.
Yes.
Yeah, but
She had to be talked
Martin
into
Luther
it.
King
Absolutely.
Convinced her
Not to
stay
leave.
because of what she represented.
Because of
and
that
stuff like
image.
that. So your role model was there really because of Dr. King.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right about that.
It's a beautiful story.
And then
Yeah.
how active she was in the NASA space program.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was, yeah, I mean, that role propelled her into something that is worldwide and recognized and created things for young people to get involved in science. So it
Right.
was so important.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you get a lot of, just a quick question, do you get a lot of military officers saying, oh, you know, your character was so strong, I wanted to become a captain and be the fastest growing captain in the military? Do you ever get that at different cons?
I get the compliments.
Okay.
I get the comments,
Uh-huh.
but not the offers.
Uh,
I don't know that they're out there right now.
yeah.
I'm hoping that somebody has another role for me to step into that's not even similar to that. I mean, I compensate by film is like a luxury, and it's like something we work very hard to get. There are not roles out there that I can step in every day. Now, I know that I can play a head of a family as a mother. I know that. But there's a certain image. There's a certain image that they use, and I don't fit that image. So my roles are very far and few between. I'm going to right that wrong. I go to the stage. And that's where I get to live out all of the roles that I want to live out. From the classics to Shakespearean, I've done the sonnet, and that whole number we all have, but sometimes the things are limited. But when it's Star Trek, I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think it's starting to slowly change? I'm starting to see that television in the last 10 to 15 years is a bit more broad-minded what they can do with people of my age and older, where generally in the past, actors that got to a certain age, see ya. But now I feel like we are starting to slowly write better roles.
Yeah.
So they don't pigeonhole you as a housewife or something like that. They're going, no, you know, if you were 50 years old, you would be running the
Admiral.
CEO of a company, or you
Yeah.
would be doing this, or
Evil Admiral Scott. Evil Admiral Scott. That'd be cool.
evil admiral.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Evil
It left something in your brain and then you just want to take over the Federation.
Oh, her evil twin.
Yeah, or evil twin.
Mirror
yeah.
universe.
Mirror Universe Scott, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, I love it.
Go for it
I'm
all.
mentally writing the book as we speak.
Perfect. But no, I don't know that things are broad. I think they're getting, like I said, there's an image out there, and that image is perpetuated all over TV, which is crazy because there's so many versions of us. There is not one thing. We're everywhere you go. We're all over the planet. We're all around the world. We're all in the galaxy.
Yeah.
So it's that we have to really broaden the scope and allow that visibility to be taken as an everyday thing, not something special, because we're everywhere.
Exactly.
Anybody have any questions?
If the bug said what she just said, it would be terrifying.
Oh, God. Let's redo that and put the bug in front of it.
Just move it around. Yeah.
Take two?
There's one observation I want to make before, and that is the idea of killing the queen, killing everything else.
In that hive, yeah.
It's basically a standard thing throughout science fiction a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, it's-
Destroy the control chip, the
Right.
droid chip.
You know, I mean, Ender's Game was another example.
Yes.
And, you know, I guess it's an easy way to get rid of, you know, if you just kill the queen and kind of worry about getting rid of all the individuals. I mean, you're talking about a whole season or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's just an easy way to get rid of all the minions and stuff like that.
Seems like a missed opportunity now, doesn't it?
Oh, you don't have that, do you?
Yeah.
You could have had that play over seasons where you could never really trust anyone.
But, well, see, we don't do that in America.
Without, yeah.
And we've got Battlestar Galactica.
New Zealand, New Zealand, sir?
Australia.
Australia. See, maybe in Australia they do that, but in the United States we're too impatient. So we just want to get rid of them.
Mate, we're too worried about what's going to kill us in the garden. You know, and we're going to watch out for we're going to look below, we're going to look above, you know.
Look at your shoes.
We can't go swimming, we'll get eaten. It's a whole thing. But we do have beautiful beaches, and we have really good bloody beer.
Oh, there you go.
Well, you'd want to be a little tutored with all the wildlife there, I imagine. You know, especially if you're going to go to the beach. You go to Bondi Beach, get in the water, you know, you're going to pull back the
If
stone.
we had these in Australia, they'd be our pets, honestly. We'd keep them as pets. We would.
Yeah.
We would go, hey buddy, there's another drop bear, take him down.
So that is an inside joke. That's the koala.
All the koalas up there in the street.
Peaceful coexistence and a cure for chlamydia.
There's koalas are the good guys, and the mirror universe version of koalas are the drop bears.
Oh, there it is.
There you go.
There you
Well,
go.
That's the
remember,
Australian conspiracy.
remember, canonically in the Star Trek universe, there is a god, and he's a koala.
Yeah,
That's true.
that's true.
All hail the great koala.
Also, Australian is a prison colony.
Yeah.
Star Trek.
I vaguely remember there being a reference to Botany Bay.
Yeah.
There's something I can't.
He was very charismatic. That's all I can say.
Wasn't Tom Paris
he
held
seems
in
good.
prison in Australia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a giant spider as a pet too.
Yeah.
No, those were SETI eels.
I
So yeah, they're totally different.
gotta draw out my favorite bit of Nichelle Nichols trivia here, since we're talking about that great woman. Well, this is two parts actually. She was very involved in social media about 10 or 15 years before she passed, before her health fell into ill, and she actually responded to me one time, and it was the greatest thrill of my life because my daughter was playing with my Star Trek action figures and got the Uhura one tangled up in her hair, and of course, like a good dad, instead of helping her, I went and took a picture. And I posted it on Twitter, like, this is what my dumb daughter did, and I tagged Nichelle Nichols, and she wrote back.
Wait.
And she was like, oh my gosh, she's so adorable. I'm like, honey, Uhura thinks you're adorable. But here's my favorite bit of Nichelle Nichols trivia, and this actually happened after she left us. In the first season of Star Trek Picard, whenever Picard visits his vault and we see all of his treasures, there's a certificate on the wall. And it is a certificate commemorating the first time he ever traveled at warp speed. And he did it during his first year as a cadet at Starfleet Academy on board the USS Leon deGrance. And it listed the year. In the second season of Star Trek Picard, there is a scene where you see all these plaques that has the Enterprise D, the Stargazer, and then it has the Leon deGrance. And whenever they posted the plaque to show what it said, the Leon deGrance, during the year that Picard traveled, first time at warp speed, was captained by Captain Nyota Uhura.
Yeah.
So, Uhura was Captain Picard's first starship captain. And I think that is great retroactive
Amazing.
celebration.
Yeah.
of Nichelle Nichols.
Absolutely.
Full circle, yeah.
That is a double Easter egg because Leon deGrance is the character
He
that
played in Excalibur.
played in Excalibur.
Yeah, one of his
I just
earlier.
watched that movie 2 days ago.
And you didn't get
I
that.
didn't get it. In my defense, though, that's a really boring movie.
What? What?
It
Oh, it
is.
was amazing.
It's
Go
amazing
back
boring.
to Texas.
Yeah, like, look, we'll talk about that on another
that,
show,
yeah.
guys. So, but to come back to it then, you are who was the first female captain before you then? So you were
Yeah.
the second. Yeah, that's
Well,
clarified.
But the fastest. She-
In fictional canon,
I wrote
yes.
faster
In
than
real world,
anyone else.
we have
Yeah.
the first one right here.
Yeah,
That's
number
right.
one. Number one.
Number
Official.
one.
Official.
Thank you so much.
Shall I move it forward?
Yes, moving forward because we have to do what's called spinning the wheel of agony.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Yes, this dictates our Friday episode, what we'll be talking about. There's a whole fanfare to this, but
Yeah.
for some reason.
So basically,
Dun, dun, dun,
the idea of this
dun.
show is we don't know what we're going to be reviewing.
We never know what we're going to review. The wheel tells us what we're going to review.
Now you can see with the wheel, and Worf is so pleased to be part of this wheel.
They were just talking about the time an old man kicked my ass.
Now you've got yellow and red represent what we consider episodes not everybody loves, but we always include one episode that we feel represents Star Trek at a high level.
Yes.
That's the best way to explain
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. Like this would be an ecstasy book, in all honesty.
Yeah. So give me the instructions,
All
Captain,
right,
and I
let's
shall spin.
spin the wheel of agony.
Here we go. Here we go. Do a countdown, Joe.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, stop. Monsters.
Monsters.
Oh, all
Is that
right.
a Picard episode?
Yes, it is.
Indeed it is.
Yeah, Picard, yes.
Is that a third season Picard episode?
Well,
Here we go.
And here we go. Star Trek Picard.
I will read it.
it's second season.
Read it, Jason. You've got to read
Yeah,
it.
this is you, buddy.
T'Lyn enters Picard's subconscious mind to help him wake from a coma. and face his deepest fears. Yes, I know that said coma. I was trying to make it funny. I'm actually not that stupid. I'm almost that stupid, but I'm not. Seven and Raffi search for Girardi, fearing she succumbed to her inner monster. Rio struggles to hide the truth about himself from Teresa, that he is a butt bug.
Oh boy, I might have to get sick for next week. I don't know if I can watch this episode again.
Oh man.
It is so weird how Star Trek Picard bounced back from what I thought was the weakest season since the first season of Next Generation to becoming just the most amazing season since ever.
Well, you can thank Metalis for that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Terry Metalis. Give him that spinoff, for goodness sake.
Right.
That is what we want.
Are you caught up on all the Star Trek series and everything? No. That was it? Yeah, I'm in, I'm out.
I mean, I know the titles, but I
Yeah.
have to watch it.
Yeah. You're more Shakespearean now, so it's best to do sonnets rather than watch TV.
Love the sonnets.
Love the sonnets.
Yes. And did you know I focus mainly on the dark lady sonnets?
Oh.
Can you give us
Sonnet
a
number
demonstration?
26, I believe, up to 52. Shakespeare devoted them to Lucy L'Amour. And so they are entitled The Dark Lady Sonnets.
Ooh.
That fascinated me so.
He's a big fan. He's a big Shakespeare fan.
Yeah, he's just Shakespeare.
You've been challenged to a part off.
Big Shakespeare fan.
Or a bark off, I don't know.
Now, with Shakespeare and obviously learning a play, you're working that material, those lines always. It never stops, right? You're always.
Never stops. Before I even step out there, I'm going. Iambic pentameter. Do I know the words? I've got the rhythm, but I have the words. So
It's very musical, isn't it?
it's very
It's like music.
Iambic pentameter. They have a phrase for it. And if you can get in that rhythm and get used to using the tongue and stripping the words and understanding that the words are just very simple but very flowery, then you can get through it.
That's amazing. That's
It's
amazing.
absolutely amazing.
And when can they check you out? If they want to,
Yeah,
what are you currently doing at the moment?
Say it again, Ben?
Are you working on something currently right now? Sorry, are you in a play at the moment?
I am revising a piece that I did several years ago. It's called Queen Calafia. It is the woman warrior that California is named for. Unsung heroines is what I delve into. There's so many women out there who have done incredible things in history, real and fictional, that are unsung. And Calafia, they say, is a myth. I said, how can she be a myth when I exist?
There you go.
She cannot
Absolutely.
be a myth.
Yeah.
So it's like a one-person piece, and I'm going to revive that.
Amazing.
Thank
you. You can come up and ask the question, but we got to wrap up because. Yeah.
Is it just me, or did the dog make the most interesting comment of the old?
It's not just you.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
Have a good one.
you.
Thank you so much.
Let's give this lady a big round of applause. Very important part of Star Trek history. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Taking my butt